Hello everyone. In today's session we will cover a technical topic, and this will be related with the SQL Server Reporting service. And as my viewers, they were continuously requesting to make another SSRS in which they can see end-to-end process, and it was also a good idea to go into further details and in-depth and check the various components which I have already covered, but there are a few aspects which we need to also explain, and for this that's why I chose today the same topic, SQL Server Reporting Service in D365 Finance and Operation. So we will talk about the retail module in this one. So as you know that a company which is having retail stores, so at the back office it is normally a practice to verify the payments or cash received in all of the outlets or stores, and in order to reconcile it, so there are definitely some manual papers or manual Excel files through emails are sent from each of the store to the head office of the organization or retail company, and in the head office then it is verified in the Dynamics 365 back office, and if there is some differences of amounts in the payment, so that need to be also inquired. So for that purpose I will just go to this Contoso company, USRT, which is Contoso Retail in USA. In this one you can go to the retail module, and in retail module inquiries and reports, and you can go to the sales reports. So I will just highlight few of the reports in order to have a further idea about this. So for example, there is an organization sales report, but it is not giving any option to go, for example, store wise. So only the option is you can give the from and to date range, and it will give you the organization wide sale throughout the whole company. And then there is a channel summary report, and this you can select a specific store or channel. If it is within the hierarchy, you can select further region wise, and then there are stores. So any of the store you can select, and the date range you can select and click OK. So it will give you the report in this format. So here you can see that the specific date we have selected. So in this one we have selected only a single date, but what about if we select 1 week or 1 month? So again it will show in the range, but the summary amount will show in one time. And at the bottom you can see different payment methods or tender types, normally it is called in retail stores. So for example, cash is received this much in USD, check amount is this much, and cards, credit cards or Visa cards, MasterCards are this much total. So the total payment received in one day, the date range here 12th of January 2015 is 950 USD. So this is the total tender amount, and then sales amount is mentioned here, then taxes and any returns, gross profit margin, margin percentage. So this is one of the report, but it is a summary report. Okay, so then we'll also go to the channel sales by year report. Here also you can give a date range, like not date range exactly, but year range, from 1 year to another year, and you can again select the channel within the hierarchy. So you can select one specific store or the region wise or the overall organization wise. So once you select this, so this will bring the channel sales by year, and we will also see this how it looks. So you can see the year is mentioned, and then sales amount for the whole year, and then cost of goods sold amount and gross profit margin percentage is mentioned. So what if I select 2 years? Let's see what happens. So I will give 2016, from 2015 to 2016. So how it will show? So it will show row wise, year wise. So means each year will come in a different row and the sales amount will come. So but there is no specific date wise if you want to have this look. So let's go to see if there is any other report. So I don't think. And then there is a channel sales by hour report. This is also a good one. But again, if you give a date range and select a channel, so it will give you during the daytime how much transactions have happened along with the sales amount. So this is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. this much transaction for this specific date range. So this is the sales amount. In this way, day wise, how much sales is going on, I mean in which time of day more sales is occurring. So this is one of the report. So but in our target today, what we will cover basically, this is our format of the report which we'll make, and this is I have named it Daily Stores Customer Payment Summary Report. And here we will have basically 3 parameters: from and to date, that is to date filters here, from and to date, and then there is a stores multi lookup filter here where you can select multiple stores or a single store or all stores. So these will be 3 parameters, and then this will be the format shown once we have applied the filter. So store wise it will show the rows will be the dates. So means date wise, store wise, and then date wise. And what it will show, the opening amount if it is the shift based opening and closing of the stores. So opening amount or starting amount will be shown, and then the transactions, and these are different transactions, means cash or credit cards or checks or gift cards or loyalty cards. And then there are some returns if it has happened. Some customers, due to some defect, they have returned the product or they did not like the product, so they can return. So the amount of return will be shown here, and then the total amount, and then definitely the discount tax amount for the whole day, and that will make, if we minus that discount and tax from the total, so it will make net amount. And also it will show the day wise transaction count and the difference amount. So difference will be definitely opening amount plus net amount minus the closing amount. So when you close the tender, so when you declare a tender, so that amount is the day end amount. So opening plus net minus tender closing amount will be the difference amount. So normally it should be 0. But if, for example, there is no opening amount, definitely then difference amount cannot be 0. So it need to be whenever you open a till, when you open a terminal, so counting of currency should happen, and it should basically mention in the starting amount while opening the shift. And then during the day transaction will happen, any returns will happen, and then discount and tax will be minus and net amount, and then declare of a tender will show the end of shift amount, and definitely that means opening plus transaction minus tender closure will be basically ideally 0. If there is no loss of money, so it will be 0. And then in this report we will also show the total for each of the column. So this is our idea to make this report today. And basically why these columns are included, this is also important. So first of all, I will show you, go to the retail module, and in the retail module go to the channel setup, In the channel setup, go to the payment methods and go to the payment methods page. Here you can see there are different payment methods through which customer can pay in a retail channel or stores. So these are normally the transaction which will be going on. So from these I have selected the column names. So in this way these columns will be part of the report. Okay, so I have included all the columns here, and as per the Contoso data I have highlighted only those columns which have some data. So means usually these payment methods are used. So I have skipped others, only included the yellow ones. So these two are cash and loyalty cards, and then check and cards are included, and then gift card is included. Okay. So another page is I have highlighted what we will need to do in order to develop this report. We will be basically creating three kind of classes, and there will be one contract class in order to create the parameters or pass the parameters, or you can say these are filters to the report. So as I mentioned before, we will have this from and to date filter, and then stores multi-select lookup means you can select multiple stores here. So these will be handled through contract class. Then we will have a UI builder class, and this specifically is needed here. Why? Because in stores we need to have a multi-select lookup, and this is also a very hot topic for the developers, and some are still having the difficulty in order to make a multi-select lookup. Single select is easy. You can easily select the EDT. For example, in this case, retail store ID EDT you can use for a single selection. But what if you need to select 2 or 3 stores or all stores and then put a date range? So in that case, we will have to have this multi-select lookup. So for this, we will consider to add a UI builder in order to enhance the param method of contract in which we select the store. So in this way, we will select this UI builder class in order to enhance the param method of contract, param method of store ID. And then we have a DP class. DP class means a data provider class, which will basically calculate the business logic of this report. Then definitely we will have a temp DB based table, and this is very important table when you are working on a DP based report, not on the query based report. Normally data provider based report will populate the data in this table, and also this table through DP class will be used in the report as a data set. And then we will have SSRS report, which will be the basic component, and that will be basically using all of these classes and tables. Then in order to call this report, we will have a menu item which will target this report, and that menu item type will be output. Basically there are 3 menu items: display menu item used for forms, then we have the action menu item for the class, and then we have the output menu item used normally for SSRS reports. Then this menu item will be added to the retail module. So for that purpose, we will create a menu extension to retail module. Then there will be a security privilege, and that security privilege will basically have this menu item, and that security privilege can be assigned to a role in order to run the report for an end user. So this is the whole idea of this report. So without wasting the time, let's start with developing the report. So first of all, we will create a project, and if you guys have not created a model or package, you can consult always my first video in technical series or technical library. So I will select finance and operation here, and in finance and operation I will start with PKR. So since this report will be based in retail module, so I will prefix this my initials underscore and then the module name as a retail module. So when I go to the format page of my Excel, so this is the basically report name. I will just copy this So I will try to use the relevant name of the report, but it should be also very short, not very long. So let me daily stores customer, I can make it cust, and this payments I can make payment, and so it will be retail daily stores cust payment summary report. So this is I think enough, and we can go ahead and create this project, and this will create a project. Okay, so the project is created. Then the first element which we'll be creating is basically the table, because the table is the main component and the most basic component. So for that, and this project also we need to check whether it is created in our model or not. So for that we will go to the properties of this project, and since it has been created in fleet management, which I don't want, and I want basically in my own model, so I will first of all select my own model. So this is the very first thing which you need to check, because afterwards when you have created the objects you cannot change the model. So it's very important at this point you select the correct model, and that should be your new model. Okay, so let's start with adding a new item, and after you have selected the new item, go to the Dynamics and Dynamics 365 items, and here you can go to the data model and you can select a table. Okay, so give it a name, PKR retail daily stores cust payment summary. So I will skip the report name here, only we will put this one, so because otherwise it will be very long name, so it's better to put it small one. Okay, so once it is created, first thing is we need to give it a label, or it is normally called label in Dynamics 365. In other places maybe it is caption or text. So we will put a name here like retail daily stores customer payment summary. Okay, and okay, once you have given a name, then you need to select the table type property, and in the table type property you can select tempdb. Okay, after you have selected tempdb, and I have already explained in my previous topics that there can be regular table in memory and tempdb. Regular are basically persistent and they will keep the data, but in memory and tempdb are temporary. In memory, differences in memory will be kept in RAM, and tempdb will be in SQL Server tempdb. So better is always recommended is to use tempdb, because in memory will definitely occupy your RAM, and it is seldom used. Whenever you are very sure that 500 records or around that much record you will be basically keeping. So it is very unpredictable, because in normally in SSRS we use tempdb because records can increase. So that's why I have selected this tempdb. So label name, the name of the table already I have given, and the tempdb table type I have selected. So now we will start creating our fields. So first of all I will open data types here on the left hand side, and extended data types, and I will pick up retail store ID. I will just type and it will appear easily, so I can drag and drop retail store ID. Retail I don't need, because already now you can see on the right hand side properties are automatically populated. So this extended data type retail store ID, but field name here I put store ID to make it simple and simply accessible. So I am not putting label here because the extended data type is already having label of store, so no need to put it here. So but for the other amount fields, I will definitely put the label on this table level. First of all, once I have included the fields, so that these labels are automatically gone to SSRS and shown there. No need to again type the labels there. So this is very important at this stage. So then retail store name, because I will also show the store name here, so I will also drag and drop. But since it is not reference the package here on the name is retail, so I first need to reference the package. So I will go to the model management and then select PKR model, and then I will pick the retail package here so that it is referenced now. Okay, now I can drag and drop, and then I will remove retail prefix. So store ID, store name are placed. So the third will be the transaction date, and this is in application platform. Let's add it. So it is already there, a reference, so there was no error. So if there is error, just first check whether the package is referenced in your model or not. So I have put this trans date in the basic component, and next will be the amount fields. But before amount field, I have one counter that will be integer type. So I will put a counter, and this will be trans count, the transaction count. Okay, if we see now our report here, so we have covered this date and the store ID and name here, and also the transaction count. Now the rest of almost columns are of real value, real data type, and that is you can also call currency field or currency EDT. So we will be using amount currency EDT for this purpose. So I will select here amount curve, and this is the main field which we'll be using now. So I will just I can put one time I will drag and drop here, and then I can right click and duplicate. So how many columns you have, as per your requirement, you can duplicate as many times as you like. So let me check the count here, like these are 11 and 12 for differences. So 12 fields I will need of this type. So okay, so I will start naming also. So first will be opening. Okay, and cash cards check. Cash cards. You can press F2 key in order to rename the field, and up and down arrow to navigate. So after check, we have gift cards, loyalty cards, gift cards, loyalty cards. please take care of the spellings, because I've seen developers who don't care about the spellings. So spellings are very important, because otherwise if you have misspelled or performed a typo, so you need to then carry forward with this typo in future, and this is very I don't like this approach, so please avoid that. I will duplicate now further as per my needs. So this is also returns, and then total and discount. Here it will be total, then discount. After discount we will have tax and net. Tax, and then net amount, and then we will have a difference column. So I will just put very short names for my ease and programming ease also. This trans count can go at the bottom, alter and down arrow, and let it go at the bottom. So this is now the table, but now a very important thing is, after creating the fields, you need to label the fields. This is very important. So just select the field which you want to label and go to the label directly. So here I just need to put date and opening. This is very important, because once you have put as a data set in the report, you cannot it will appear like amount currency. The label will appear like amount currency. So either you rename there in SSRS, or because sometime you may restore the data set and then it is wiped out, or sometime you again re-add the data set and it might create problem. So gift cards, no need, just put loyalty is enough. Gift cards, and here it will be returns, and this will be the total, and then discount, then we'll put the tax, we'll put the net, and this will be the trans count. I will put a small one, because there will be many columns in our report, so it's better to put very small label. And this is a difference now. So this is our table is prepared, completed, and no more anything, only these fields. Now what we'll do is just right click here and synchronize. There is another option which I have told, that go to the properties, and in the properties, project properties, you can select this as true, so that synchronized database on build is always, whenever you build the project, it is synchronized, but it will also have a performance impact, so it's better to right click here and synchronize. So if there are any errors, it will appear here, and you need to fix those errors first. So it will take a while. So once this synchronization is completed, we will start with our contract class straight away.